How do you know if the information that you are consuming and the information that you are basing a decision off of is coming from a reliable, unbiased source? Today, the trend is really for us to kind of seek out our own expert advice, seek out our own research, and make our decision based off of those conversations that we share with folks that we have personal relationships or we know throughout the community. We tend to favor this route over the route of going to the source of the information or going to a recognized expert, because that seems to be a truly biased representation of the information, and that makes sense. That's what I want to talk about in this video, share a little bit about my background, the perspective and the thought process I go through when I decide if I want to join a collaboration or not. You can make that decision yourself as to whether the information I provide you and the recommendations I may or may not give are trustworthy or not. If you have a question about a particular leather or about a sizing from a particular shoemaker, ask that source, ask that shoemaker, ask the tannery. Even though it may be a biased opinion to a certain extent, they have an invested interest in making it a positive experience, because if it's not, it's very unlikely you're going to come back. Additionally, you need to have multiple sources. So starting with the source of the information, starting with the individual that's making the shoe or has hands-on experience with making the leather, is a great place to get that foundational experience before you go out and seek other experiences and other opinions. This all started because I got a new pair of Allen Edmonds, and it was the first pair of Goodyear welded shoes that I had. I posted a picture of it on Instagram, and I really began to make a habit of it because I enjoyed the creative process, I think, and then I also enjoyed the shoe care aspect of it, of just learning about the shoes, learning about how to care for them, and it was all just a very enjoyable hobby. There was never any outside influence about what it was that I featured, what shoes I bought, or what I decided to share with my Instagram account, because there was no reason behind me sharing it other than for my own enjoyment. Anything that I share on this channel is because it's from a shoemaker that I truly support and I truly enjoy working with. And if it's a pair of shoes that I feature, it's because it's a pair of shoes and I truly enjoy wearing and would be comfortable recommending them to anyone. All of the videos that I share here on YouTube, all of the reels or photos that I share on Instagram, 100% is based on what I want to share, what I'm comfortable sharing, and what I want to say about that shoemaker or about that pair of shoes. Nobody has any influence or has any line of sight into what it is that I'm going to say or what it is that I'm going to share ahead of time. If there's ever a situation where I am receiving payment for a particular video from a sponsor, I would be sure to make a very important distinction, which is there are reviews and then there are spotlights or shoemaker spotlights. A spotlight is much different than a review. That is really where you're just featuring a product, what the options and offerings are that that particular shoemaker may or may not have. There's no good or bad. There's no recommendation or not a recommendation. It's just presenting information. Of course, like all of us, I do have a certain amount of bias. I have a preference for a specific type of leather, a specific type of shoe, a specific shoemaker, and that's going to come through in one aspect or another because I only share the shoemakers and the shoes that I enjoy and I like. That's completely different, though, than giving an opinion of saying something is well executed or something fits really well and is comfortable when it's really not. Those are two different things, and I can assure you I'd never do the latter. It's a very simple set of questions and decisions that I go through. Would I spend my own money on this pair of shoes, or would I give my own money to this shoemaker? Am I comfortable with recommending the customer service or the customer experience that that shoemaker provides or that company provides? If I've had a bad experience with them, no matter how much I may or may not like the shoes, it's very unlikely I am going to feature them in a prominent way. If I have an uneasy feeling about making another large purchase through them, I'm not going to recommend anybody else do. I say this with the asterisk next to all of this that I have content from collaborations that I did with Joe Works, with Acme Shoemaker, and a few other shoemakers that are still to come. But I wanted to give you a look behind the lens here so that you can actually understand what it is that went into that decision-making process as to whether or not I would even do the collaboration, much less feature that content and that shoemaker in a video here or in a post on Instagram. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you have any questions about any of the content that I've created here or any of the information and advice I've shared in the video. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.